Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are visiting the Purdue Aquaculture Center and we've just started the journey. I'm currently undergoing the Mandela Washington Fellowship at Purdue University, which has a strong reputation on both agriculture, technology and innovation that align well with my current work and my passion. Yeah, come along. Before you were in a different organization?
Before that, I worked with Mercy Corps.
Oh, okay.
I was country director in Colombia,
Okay.
and I was there for 6 years. Before that, I was in Tajikistan as country director. And before that, I was in Peru. That's where Isabella was born, my daughter.
Oh.
And
I was with her during the session last time.
So, yeah, I was outside the U.S. for 35 years.
Wow.
And then when we decided to move back, I got a position here at Purdue.
Yeah.
So we did not think we'd end up in the Midwest.
Oh.
We thought we'd end up in the East Coast or the West Coast, forestry and fighting deforestation. And the smallholder farmers are one of the main drivers of deforestation. So I said, okay, we've got to work more in agroforestry. We have to work with the smallholder farmers. We got to stop them from doing slash and burning.
Yeah.
And so I started getting into agriculture more and more.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot by practicing it out in the field. And so that's how I ended up in agriculture.
Okay.
But forestry is always part of agriculture, right? It's always in the College of Ag. It's always usually in the ministries of agriculture. Usually they have forestry.
Very integrated. So here we are near the the Aquaculture Center, and as you can see along the route is mostly corn, and over 60% here corn is used for either animal consumption, feeds, and also poultry. The other 40% or 30% is integrated into either making food for Africa, especially Kenya. Corn is mostly for ugali. No ugali here, unfortunately. Yeah, the scenery is really nice, and this land belongs to Purdue University, the one on the right. Yeah, it's a nice place, a nice scenery to walk through. So we are now entering the Aquaculture Center. As you can see, that's the route that leads to it. And within a few minutes, we shall be there. So you can enjoy the scenery. We've just entered the place, ready to learn and see what they got for us. Yeah. So leading the way is Gary, the one we were talking with. We are headed to one of the fish ponds where this morning they were doing a little bit of harvesting. As you can see, there are a lot of trays. Here both researchers and students are using it for their experiments before either the fishlets, is it finger fishlet or what is it called, are taken either to the main fish pond or any experiment is done on them, or before they are taken to a controlled environment, which we will see shortly after the visit. On the particular farm, there were quite a number of fish ponds, and these have different types of fish and amphibians. So you can actually see them. Those appearing there are mostly for aeration, to ensure that the ponds have oxygen all the time. Yeah, that's another fish pond. And there are others across the field. One thing I've realized for the institutions, they have really invested, especially in their research. And money is really, or funding is prioritized for this kind of thing. Yeah, and they're great in commercializing any research that they do make. At Purdue, research is the key, is the thing that supports them the most. Yeah, so let's see. So we are walking to the fish ponds. They have quite a number. Some have tilapia, others have the crabs, some have even amphibians. Some fish ponds are for commercial purposes, others are purely for research, and they would even introduce, say, harmful predators to see the behavior, change of temperature, and all that. There is the fish farm manager who we are meeting, and students who are doing on their research. We've just come after they have done the harvesting of some fish, but the major thing that they add there is it crayfish or something? Yeah, so they were just winding up, and you can watch in. You'll also listen in to the supervisor as he tells us more on the work that they do.
So many. We feed them to the animals here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Me, I love them cringe.
I believe these things bite.
What do you
Yeah,
eat?
they bite. Yeah.
What do you eat
they bite.
usually? This one are
Crayfish.
crayfish, yeah.
Oh,
They'll
so
just feed it to the.
It's it
so the
edible
fish
by
already
humans.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Nigerian brother and sister, they
They eat everything. They have. You've eaten this before.
We're busy gossiping that our brother and sister from Nigeria are eating this.
Of course, now.
Welcome.
But of course, look at how serious they are.
Have you eaten shrimp?
No.
Shrimps, yes.
This is the same as shrimp.
No, different than shrimp, but fresh water.
Yeah, but this is almost the same. It tastes almost the same.
So, welcome to the Aquaculture Research Lab. My name's Bob Rohde. I'm the manager out here. We were harvesting this pond. Unfortunately, we didn't do very well. We caught a lot of crayfish and very few fish. You can see that one fish. That's what we were after. Well, you can see there's a bunch of tiny ones. The problem is they dive down with the crayfish, and the crayfish pinch them, and it ends up being a mess. So,
Awesome.
but this is a typical pond. We have 12 quarter-acre ponds that we can do research in. What I just put back is the aerator, so at night we turn those on to provide oxygen for the fish in the ponds. We can fill and drain the ponds. You can see the little T-bar there. That's a valve that turns water to come into the one pipe, and then the other pipe right behind the paddle wheel is the drain that we can push down to drain. So like when we get ready to harvest, we push them about halfway down so that it's easy walking and we can work in it. It's not over our heads. Because if this is really full, it's right up to the top of your head, maybe a little over. So now that we're done, I'll fill this back. We did this pond yesterday. I'm refilling it back up to its normal height, and then I'll do that on this one too. We have quite a few different fish out here. We have largemouth bass, walleye, some bluegills, some fathead minnows, and then inside you'll see some other fish, including some amphibians. I don't know what else is of interest. The few fish we did collect, we put on the tank on the truck. There's bottled oxygen on there that goes through an air stone to provide oxygen while they're in there. Then we'll take those fish in and put them in tanks. These fish, these are carnivorous fish, same with largemouth bass. They don't know how to eat a pelleted food. So what we have to do is bring them inside and crowd them up and
basically throw food at them until they understand that that's what they're supposed to eat. The ones that don't eat will eventually die. They'll just shrink away and shrivel. It's also the particle size.
Yeah.
So for very small fish like this, we have to have a very small size to fit in their mouth and be attractive to them. Once they get bigger, usually the competition from everybody else drives the feeding response. What's another one?
Do you use organic feed or chemical?
No, the supply of feed here is quite limited. We would like to have a feed for each individual species, but we don't have enough production for the feed mills to make that. So basically what we have is probably a catfish tilapia diet, a trout diet, and a salmon diet, because those are the big markets. And then we have to take one of those and sort of substitute it in for our fish. And in terms of organics, there's just not a market, because that's another issue. You cannot certify fish organic. It's not like vegetables. So there's no benefit to raising an organic fish unless you were going to eat it yourself.
Okay. Yeah, depending to the water, what temperature do you keep the water?
So out here you can't control the temperature, right? It's just whatever ambient temperature is. Inside, you'll see we can control the temperature per species. Tanks, recirculating, and we have our well water is relatively cool, about 13 to 15 C. And then we have a hot water heater, and that is usually 90 degrees, and we can mix to get whatever we need. So you'll see in there, the main fish you'll see are tilapia, which are running about 27, 28 C, and then the walleye, which are 20 to 25 C.
Yeah, most of people say that water contains some metals and that can affect fish. Do you have any metals here?
So we're pretty lucky. In general, no. Our water source are wells, which are relatively uncontaminated. And so, like the water that's coming in behind you, that's from the building. The water that goes through the tanks in there goes into a cistern, and I can pump it up and reuse it, or I can use straight well water out here.
And so you have something like filtration systems before you send the water to the...
Yes, we have a sand filter in the back, because we have very high iron in our wells. So if I were to use well water out here directly, I have to let it sit for a while. I can't put fish in there because the iron's so high.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And the oxygen?
So the oxygen, the main thing out here is to have the paddle wheels or aerators to provide oxygen at night. Or if there's algae die off, all the plants die and the oxygen goes down, then we turn the aerators on.
You prefer sinking or floating?
Floating, if you can get away with it. So the walleye are a kind of a problem child. Walleye and yellow perch that we used to grow here, they like a sinking pellet. So you can get what's called a slow sink. It sits at the water top for a little bit and then it slowly goes down. But in general, we like floating feed because then you can see what you're doing. Actually, yeah, when we're walking back, Mallory, you want to go up to pond 3 and wait till they get back and you can feed them to show them feeding. Feed's on I think the feed's on the gator. Okay. If you want to, if you can do it quickly.
Did you experience any disease, Greg?
Out here, generally no. Once we get them in and doing okay, usually no, because this is what we would term extensive. The amount of fish per cubic meter per whatever is usually not that high. It's when you're inside and the fish get crowded in a tank, that's when your risk of disease goes way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more intensive, the more chance.
Yeah.
So what made fishing not work today? Just because they went low?
Yeah, the crayfish are just too much of an issue because they just pinch all the little fish. This is a problem. I've been trying to avoid it, but I'm going to have to use an insecticide at this point. This is 3 years in a row with this problem. I've been trying to avoid it, but I just can't do it anymore. No, no, we're done.
Yeah. What sort of populations do you keep in this size pond?
So it depends on the size of the fish. So this pond was stocked with probably 50,000 fry to try to get 10 to 20,000 back. I mean, they look like an eyelash when we put them in. They're very, very tiny. But like if we put in a 2-inch fish, we'll probably put 5,000 in a pond like this. And then if we're going for food fish, a bigger fish, it might be 1,000 at the most. So actually they aren't mature yet. So I actually got, these came from Minnesota as eggs. So there's different ways around it.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
With tilapia, do you do the sex conversion with the hormones or no?
No, we buy fish that have already been sex reversed.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, there's very few places now in the U.S. where you can buy mixed sex tilapia. It's almost exclusively all male hormone-induced tilapia.
Why is that?
Because they grow fast. Just because they grow faster. Males grow faster than females. Because females put energy into reproduction.
Okay.
All right, well, when we start heading in, hopefully Mallory's down there. We can see it's a largemouth bass pond that we'll try to feed, and then we'll go inside.
For our largemouth bass, you can kind of see them out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to be feeding them.
Okay.
You might have to talk louder, Mallory.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mallory's gonna feed the bass now, so she's gonna just dump in some pellets.
Okay.
She's gonna fling in some pellets.
Mm-hmm.
And they really like food.
Yeah, so you can kind of see they just like to school up and swim around in circles here. So if you kind of just throw it out in the middle, they'll come up and start feeding.
Again.
And they'll feed, so we feed these bass until satiation. So until they stop feeding, we just keep giving them more.
How do they know? Is it by odor that the food is inside, or because the water is shaking?
They usually just kind of find it. One of them will find it in the school, and then they'll all kind of try and follow each other.
I wish you can have some to fry them.
You can see them better if you're there. They're like.
Is there special glasses?
Yeah, they're polarized, so they kind of feed, and it's larger in size than that one. In terms of like composition, it's pretty much the same, but that's smaller. That'll be for smaller fish.
Okay. But do you produce them yourself?
No. So we buy them from like places that manufacture the feed, and we can special order it to like whatever kind of fish that we are raising.
Okay.
And then we have another type of feed in there that's for our walleye, and that's a sinking feed because the walleye are bottom feeders, so they're not going to come up to the top and feed like the bass do. So they have to have a feed that
It looks like when I look at the head, it looks like
And how many months do they stay here in the pond?
We keep them out here all year. When the pond freezes over, they kind of start to get a little less active, but they're self-sustaining throughout the winter.
So on this section, we were just outside. These are more of an experimental things where they do experiment for research, mostly for research institution, for the students doing their masters and PhDs who may want to test something before it is incorporated into the system. Sometimes they can put even plants or even amphibians and see the reaction with other fish and all that. It is a research intensive institution and it thrives well in research.
Replicate of a pond, right? We fill it with water, fertilize it, and then in general, what they did was the fish spawned largemouth bass have adhesive eggs. They spawn on a mat. You take the mat out of the pond. You bring it over here. You let the egg incubate in here and hatch, and then this is their pond. So to speak.
Yeah.
And then they're going to harvest them next week. Take lengths, weights, measures, and I think that's the end of. Well, and then there's probably some. I'll let you wander around here in a second. I'll just point out certain things. Like I said, in here we have these pipelines up top. We have a hot water line, a cold water line, an air line, and that's how we can control the environment for the various fish species. Over time, we've done about 30 different species of fish out here, and now we've started doing, in the last 5 to 10 years, doing amphibians, which you'll see, I hope. So looking around the room, we start over here. It's not up and running right now, but these gray tanks, that's an aquaponics study. The tilapia are usually held in the gray tanks, and they grow lettuce in the black tanks that are down on the floor. Then over here are the hellbenders. That's a large amphibian that's endangered and threatened in the Ohio River drainage, and it's partially a propagation, environmental study, that sort of thing.
So basically, this is over, I think, $1 million investment in aquaculture research. The place is really, really amazing. So you can just enjoy the equipment, see that investment. It's over $1 million. Over 30 species research has been done here. It's one of the top aquaculture facility. In case you're wondering how I came here, this is courtesy of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, where I was placed in Purdue, and I love the place. Subscribe kindly, guys. Those are fellows holding the amphibians there. Honestly, I couldn't hold. I was too scared. I cannot look at that.
No.
Salamander, so it's a type of amphibian. It's a type of amphibian, no? Yes, yeah, they'll dry out.